Hi. Elon Musk has stated that, in terms of the internet, it's like humanity acquiring a collective nervous system, whereas previously we were more like a collection of cells that communicated by diffusion. With the advent of the internet, it was suddenly like we got a nervous system. It's a hugely impactful thing. In the world dominated by information, which can be requested at one's fingertips, the internet has become somewhat of a natural right. Most, if not all, our information is stored on the internet, such as emails, homework, research papers, and legal documents, which are all submitted and downloaded online. However, in the United States, it has become a problem to access this information effectively due to extraordinarily high monthly costs and polarizing internet speeds. With the new proposed internet access policy that guarantees advanced internet service at an affordable level, we can solve it. Today, I will talk about the fundamental problems and the cause of the problems and the new proposed policy to resolve it. So, our current problem is Americans unable to pay their monthly access at an affordable level, of course, their own information. So, on March 11th, 2020, the FCC, or Federal Communication Commission, had recorded a household guide to internet speeds. According to the report, it stated that in order to stream and have access to data with little to no disturbance, a minimum of 25 megabits per second was required for efficient use. The United States average is 18.7 megabits per second, lower and slower than the minimum requirement. So, here are real charts provided by Joe Suppin from March 23, 2020, showing the polarization of prices. These are our top 3 internet service providers in the United States: AT&T, Spectrum, and Xfinity. I'll give you 5 seconds to look at these charts. So, what is the first thing you notice? Well, the first thing I noticed was that the speeds. For AT&T, the first package is 50 megabits per second, and the second is 100 megabits. Very slow, or fairly slow, to extraordinarily fast. Same thing with Xfinity, 10 megabits per second, and the second is 100 megabits per second. Spectrum doesn't even offer lower speeds or lower costs. So why is this? This is because companies or ISPs funnel your money into the faster speeds. Why pay $49.99 for 50 megabits when you could pay the same amount for 100 megabits per second? Well, yeah. Same thing with Xfinity. Why pay $29 for just $10 more? You can get 100 megabits per second instead of just 10. What if I told you that for Spectrum, being a loyal customer paying $50 monthly for a year, they will increase your monthly payment by $10 to $15 extra, without including, of course, your modem or your router rental. So, why is this? So the cause of this problem is the FCC not having regulations on the internet service providers. And according to an article by Alan Holmes and Chris Zuckman on The Verge, internet service providers having a lack of competition and territorial practices over an area leads to inflated internet prices. So, over here we can see that on the right chart, 157 million people do not have internet access that have broadband speeds. Broadband speeds are 25 megabits per second, the minimum according to the FCC for efficient use. And to our left, we see that 21 still are not choosing to get this broadband speed because of these polarizing prices. So, another reason is due to the FCC repealing net neutrality in 2017. What is net neutrality? Well, net neutrality made internet service providers treat all internet communications equally. That means Netflix, and YouTube would have the same priority, and that is how it's supposed to be. Equal priority to equal websites. And most importantly, a regulated internet to have the minimum of 12 megabits per second. Well, that is great. So, how do we make sure we get another policy like this? Well, I'm proposing, and according to research, an internet access policy to access the internet would increase not only data, but our forms of entertainment and livelihoods. Our quality of life, in essence, will rise if we raise the minimum requirement. In a report by David Belson from Academy in 2017 of December, South Korea had the fastest average internet speed at 28.6 megabits per second, while the United States, as you can tell on this chart, ranked at 10th at 18.7 megabits per second. So, this is because South Korea's Communication Commission had regulated the internet service providers to have a minimum speed of 35 megabits per second at an affordable level. So, in an article by Joseph on March 3rd, 2020, South Korea's 1987 Framework Act on the Information Promotion established a high priority on national broadband deployment. The goal of the act was to improve the quality of life for the nation and to contribute to the development of the national economy. So, today I've discussed our current problem with internet access, why we have this problem, and the policy to solve it. With internet access policy, it guarantees an advanced internet service at an affordable level, increasing the quality of life proved by South Korea. As my final statement, information and data on the internet has become exponentially important. And citizens in the United States would have access to their data, increasing their quality of life through entertainment and contributing to the national economy. Thank you.